We like to experiment. I hate this book with a passion. This is garbage. It's not, and I'm gonna make a point of making sure I read a decent amount of Black authors regularly. Hello loves and welcome to the channel. We're trying something a little bit different. That shouldn't be new here on this channel. We like to experiment. If you enjoy this video and you want to help a sister out, be sure to thumbs up and leave a comment down below because that definitely helps boost things up, and stick around to the end to get a video specific emoji. I highly appreciate it if you do that. Before we get started, I am doing something a little bit different where I try to do a reading vlog once a week. So right now we're shooting for every Saturday. That may or may not change. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that I will continue to have non-book related content or vlogs on the channel, which I'm planning on doing on Mondays, which I will alternate with those videos. So there'll be studio vlogs that are art specific, and then there'll be life vlogs that kind of contain everything or a little bit more chatty and things like that. I just wanted to separate everything so you know what you are getting into by the title of the vlog, etc, etc. Otherwise, let's get into this reading vlog. For this week's TBR, I ended up picking Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan because, well, I'm already reading this. Then I picked The Black Flamingo as my main Buzzwordathon pick. This month the theme is a book with a color in the title, and I ended up picking black. I also am grabbing A Blade So Black and Black Enough to fit with the theme, also because I'm trying to read exclusively Black authors. And then I think I want to try and squeeze in A Duke, the Lady, and a Baby as an extra, possibly. I don't think I'll be actually finishing this book because it is my physical read and this thing is hefty. But the rest of these I have audiobooks, and these are going towards the Readathon, the Black author Readathon with the romance theme, and then these are the Buzzword picks. If I manage to get through everything really quickly, I also have The Color of Law, which technically doesn't have a color, but it has the word color in it, so I thought it might be fun to throw this in, but this one isn't a top priority at the moment since I have so many other things that I'm doing. But if I somehow breeze through the 4 audiobooks, I do have the audiobook for this one, so I can at least start it or finish it. We'll see. And here we have my picks for the week. Books that I need to get through this month, some more books that I need to get through, some more books that I need to get through this month that haven't arrived, and there will probably be some added since I will be completing my tabletop TBR, and I'm planning on doing a Black author book haul to fulfill that reward, which I'm super excited about and should come into play later in the month. Okay, quick, stop what I'm doing. I just got a notification because I was approved for my first arc. I'm so excited, and it's an audiobook, so it's an ARA? Advanced Reader Audio? I don't know, but I'm so excited. Okay, in a fun turn of events, I have finished my first book of the week, and it happens to be one that wasn't on my TBR at all. So I ended up finishing Bingo Love, the Jackpot Edition, which is a graphic novel. I technically had this on my TBR for the Black author Readathon romance bingo. Bingo. But I didn't pick it to start the month off because I'm supposed to be focusing on the Buzzwordathon this week, but I just really felt like taking a break and enjoying something quick and sweet and wholesome, and this was totally that. So this is a story about two best friends who fall in love with each other and then are kind of ripped apart because society doesn't accept their love, and they are forced to marry other people, and they have families, live their lives, and 50 years later they come across each other and have a second chance. This was really emotional and sweet. And then this edition, the Jackpot edition, also had a little anthology aspect where the last third or so was fan work by other artists that kind of just expand on the story and just add some fun fan ideas to it, and it was really, really sweet and I loved it. So I'm gonna go like cry now. Also, look at how many spots this one book got me. All right, feeling like starting the next book, Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. Okay, I hate this book. I hate this book with a passion. This is garbage. It's not, but I'm so mad. Oh my god, I'm so mad. Oh my god. How could he do that? I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Ooh. Okay, so apparently this is just gonna be my night. I feel totally and utterly betrayed by whoever suggested this book. This is a hard book to read. I'm so friggin' angry. This is a really well-written book. Good morning. Today is February 2nd, and yeah, it has been an interesting morning. So last night I ended up staying late and finishing Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I ended up giving this 5 stars, but boy, are there so many warnings with this book. Lots of trigger warnings. This was not an easy book to go through. That does mean that I have completed one of my tabletop TBR prompts, which means that I get a point. You know that I am only a single point away from completing the board and getting my first reward. I knew that this was going to happen, so technically before I got the last point, I ended up placing an order to get some more books by Black authors, so hopefully it'll be here before the end of the month so that I can read some more books and have some left over. Oh man! Okay, so I just got approved for The Chosen and the Beautiful on NetGalley. I'm so excited. I got approved for 2 of the books. Okay, so I just had a mini heart attack because I went to NetGalley to see if I can figure out how to get... I wanted to see how I could get one of the books onto my Kindle. And the book I was so excited about was gone. And I was all like, oh my god, did they revoke my approval? Am I no longer allowed to review this book? But it turns out because I had attempted to download it, they were like, oh, you downloaded it. And so they moved it to a different section, and I just wasn't aware because I've never used NetGalley before. But I had a mini heart attack and I was all like, no! I am currently reading The Black Flamingo. I'm hecka far into it, which makes sense because as you can see, the formatting, this is like a pretty quick read to get through. So I'm probably gonna finish this up today. And then I might start this one next. I'm also so happy that this isn't a heavy book. Like, it's about identity and just self-discovery, and there's beautiful prose, and I'm listening to the audiobook and it is narrated by the author and he does an amazing job. I also went and found his YouTube channel so that I can see some of his videos because he mentions at some point that someone was all like, you should set up a YouTube channel. I was like, did he? And he did. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this book.
Okay, dude, it's just one of those, man, bruh. Okay, so I just got my pre-order for Love is a Revolution. I'm excited, bruh. I also don't know why I'm saying bruh. I'm in a good mood, you guys. I'm in such a good mood. This is great. Okay, so I finally did it. I finished the Black Flamingo. As I said, I really enjoyed this. I ended up giving it 4 stars in the end, but I am excited about this, so I feel like maybe I should do this. I want romance. I think there's supposed to be some level of romance in here, but it's mostly a fantasy. And I'm actually not particularly great with fantasies, which is interesting because I love the idea of fantasy. Okay, I imagine I look crazy because I like put my hair up when I was taking a bath, and then I didn't deal with it after. Anyway, I just finished A Duke, the Lady, and a Baby, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and this is definitely, like, it's just, this is my favorite type of thing when it comes to romance. Like, everything about this made me so happy. I read along with the audiobook for this one, and I loved the narration for the female. It made me so happy because she had a kind of Caribbean accent. So that's always really refreshing. I love hearing Caribbean accents. If you don't know, I am Jamaican. I have literally no accent, but my family does, and my mom would let it slip a lot growing up. Historical, cheesy, cute. It's literally just that I loved it. Okay, so I'm going to be continuing A Blade So Black. I ended up starting this earlier today. I'm actually really enjoying it. I am a fan of Alice in Wonderland. That was true with Heartless. Now, like, listening to this makes me actually want to finish Heartless, but because I'm just reading books by Black authors this month, I'll have to wait until next month. But it's kind of annoying because now I'm all like, oh, I'm finally in the mood to finish rereading that other book. All right, time for the wrap up of this week. Here are the books for this week. Several of them were actually picked out and some of them are extra. So let's go through them in order. So with the first one that technically wasn't planned, I ended up in the mood for something light and quick, so I ended up reading Bingo Love Jackpot Edition, which is a lesbian romance comic written by a Black author. So I am using it for the Black author Readathon romance bingo game that I'm currently participating in. And this one ended up marking off most of my bingo spots because we have friends to lovers, we have a forbidden romance, we have childhood to adulthood, we have second chances. There's so much with this. I enjoyed this so much. I think I ended up giving it 4 stars, a high 4 stars, almost 5. I absolutely loved it. Then I ended up getting really involved in reading Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan, and this is another Black author book. Actually, instead of saying that for all of them are. This one was a really heavy drama, suspense romance, basically about 2 characters who kind of fall for each other at the wrong time. One of them ends up in a real crap relationship and has a hard time trying to get it out of it. There are many trigger warnings to be had about this book. It was not an easy read, but I really liked the relationship between the 2 main characters, and I found myself very invested and emotionally involved in this story. I feel like I was able to relate with the main female character regarding her kind of goals and general feelings towards things. So the stuff that she was going through was especially hard for me to read about. This one I think I actually gave 5 stars despite how difficult it was to get through this book. But again, it was a really good book. Really involved. I really enjoyed the writing, and I'm excited to read more from Kennedy Ryan. I'm also terrified because, like I said, this was an emotional roller coaster. Next up, which was fortunately Not quite as intense. So this is the Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, which is a spoken word type book, all written in verse, about kind of his experience with becoming the Black Flamingo. And it was really heartwarming and really touching, and I'm not sure if I gave this 4 or 5 stars, but I really enjoyed it. Also, I should mention that this was my pick for the Books and Lala Buzzwordathon. This, on the other hand, A Duke, the Lady, and a Baby, I ended up getting specifically for the Black Author Readathon Romance Edition. There are so many books by Black authors that were not obvious to me. So I love that I'm doing this challenge, and I'm really excited to just add more Black authors to my general book collection moving forward, and I'm going to make a point of making sure I read a decent amount of Black authors regularly. Anyway, back to this. So A Duke, the Lady, and a Baby is a historical romance about a woman who kind of loses everything when her husband dies, and his cousin, I believe, ends up taking over the estate, and she has to hide her identity to stay around her baby while figuring things out. So she ends up working for the estate, and romance ensues. There was suspense and drama and mystery, and it was very interesting, and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Then we have our first cross challenge book. So this is actually a Blade So Black for the Buzzwordathon, but it also works for the fantasy romance in the Black Author Readathon bingo board. I will say that is kind of a stretch, because although there seems to be a romance that is developing in this part, or in this book, which is the first book of a series, it doesn't really get too involved within this book. So I'm currently counting it, but that position might be knocked off by a different fantasy book that I have planned to read later in the month. But this is an Alice in Wonderland story. Basically, I think it's supposed to be like after everything regarding Alice in Wonderland, these events kind of take place. Wonderland is kind of a dream place, and then there are these nightmare creatures that attack people, and they need basically like warriors to fight them, and she kind of gets dragged into that, and a lot of stuff happens, and it was really interesting. It is a YA, so our main character is in high school, which isn't my favorite thing, but it wasn't super noticeable. There were some really noticeable things that were that were affected by it, but fortunately I think they kind of moved past it in a way that, although I was all like, ugh, high school, and like reminded, it didn't really take away from my experience, so I still really enjoyed it, to the point where I plan on reading the next book in the series, and I think I gave it 4 stars. And then the last book that I had planned to read, that I'm currently in the process of reading and might finish tonight, is Black Enough, which is a book of collections. It's a collections of stories written by different Black authors about their different Black experiences, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I do have a hard time for some reason with the story collection, but I have enjoyed almost all of the stories, so they're all either 5, 4s, or 3 stars. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, that does help the video, so if you'd like to help the channel, thumbs up. Also, if you made it this far, use this icon, this emoji, put this emoji down below to show that you made it to the end. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I put out bookish content, life content, art content, a little bit of magical content, all that fun stuff. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, bye!